What happens when you accept yourself fully? You thrive, you rise, you inspire. Meet Isaac Harvey, who rises every single day of his life like a phoenix, rising from the ashes every morning. His grit, passion, and profound acceptance of life inspires millions out there. Beyond any human weaknesses, Isaac rises to soar.
I'm going to let you take the baton this time. And hi and welcome to the show. Fantastic Isaac Harvey joining us from London, United Kingdom. I know people are going to watch this from around the world. And back here in India, the story of Isaac Harvey, which is the podcast is aimed at everyone, but I really want the audience and viewers in India to take notice. When I heard and knew more about Isaac's story, Isaac, first of all, I'm sorry, welcome to the show.
Yes, hello.
Welcome to the show. And we won't be editing this out. So, very simple question, and you can make it as complicated as you want.
Yes.
Who is Isaac Harvey? When you talk to yourself, just being you, who do you think who you are? Is it something you stand for? Is it something you're aspiring to do? Or what is your personal story about yourself? Who are you?
This is a big question, actually. But firstly, I just want to say thanks for having me today to talk to your viewers and give me a platform to speak about myself. But yeah, who is Isaac Harvey? That's a good question indeed, because I think Isaac many years ago is completely different to who I am now. When I was growing up, I was really into video games. So I wanted to become a video game tester. I really loved wrestling and I wanted to be part of the wrestling circuit and everything to do with that. But as time has passed, Isaac is now a video editor, inspirational speaker, an adventurer, and Isaac's also someone who likes to have all different doors open. I like going down different pathways rather than going down one certain way, because that's how my brain is. I like to do all types of different things, really. So Isaac's a mixed bag of everything.
That is a safe answer, Isaac.
Yes.
I would prod you a little bit further. So these are all the things you like to do, or these are all the things that you're doing, and areas that label you. You're a video editor, you're an inspirational speaker. But again, maybe it's not clear yet. Maybe it'll get clear as you go on.
Yeah.
Are we defined by what we do, or what we are, or where we're going? Is that it?
I think it's a bit of both. I think what we do is like a very important part, because people see what we do on a daily basis. For example, going to work, your boss and your colleagues see what you're doing, but when it's at home, people don't know what you're doing, unless you want to share that.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of both. It's definitely both, and that's what makes us human.
That leaves out a lot of people who don't like their work, who don't want to be defined by their work.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. Yeah, it depends if you love it or hate it, really. Yeah, I guess that does define you. But I mean, it does define you if you hate it, because it shows you don't like that work.
It still defines you. Yeah, you love it or hate it. Yeah, but it's interesting, isn't it? That so many people, I think a vast majority of us probably don't like to be defined by what we do because,
Mm,
okay, it's a job, pays the bills, kind of
yes.
stuff. So I think one crucial difference between people like you and a lot of people who aspire to be like you is you love what you do, and
Mm,
you love it so much that you let it become your definition, let it become your
yes.
label. That's an incredible thing, isn't it? So that's one lesson right away there. So if
I
you,
would say, I would say, however, like with everything, there are bits you don't like and bits you really do like. For the most part, I really enjoy what I'm doing. And like I said, I like to have that creative freedom to go from here, there, and everywhere. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, you're right. It's something I do like doing.
yeah, so you let it define you. So that's an incredible thing. I mean, most
Hmm.
people can take leave from there. Okay, I we've had an interesting conversational change in India in terms of defining disability, which
Okay.
has been interestingly enough, it's Mahatma Gandhi really worked a lot in that field, but then it kind of lost, and over several decades, really neglected and ignored area in terms of governance and policies, and even in
Hmm.
terms of acceptance in the society. Because I have
Yeah.
lived in England and Europe, and I was born in India, and now I'm in India.
Yeah.
Our prime minister, for example, there used to be a term called a Hindi term called Viklang, which literally translates to disabled,
Okay.
and he changed it to Divyang, which means people with special ability. And
Okay.
so, no longer in the government policies and documentation, the word disabled is used. Special abled is used, especially able.
Okay.
I think it was a narrative change at some point. What I want to know is physical ability defined wrong? Is it, the bifurcation of disabled, normal, and Olympic level ultra athletes? Is that bifurcation misleading? Is it not relative and subjective? The physical ability.
It's interesting because I wrote a post about. Oh, I know. I commented on a post um, on LinkedIn where someone said the word disabled is not a dirty word,
Yeah.
um, and I commented basically saying that it's not a dirty word, but it's a word that I wouldn't use personally.
Mm.
I rather say it's someone with a disability rather than person with person who is disabled,
Yeah.
because the way I see it, the word disabled is the world which is disabling those who
Hmm.
live on earth.
Yep.
The world's disabled, not the person, but a person can have a disability.
Exactly.
um
Yeah. Not as a
but I
noun.
de-
Not as a noun.
yeah,
You don't label
yes,
the person as disabled. Yeah.
yeah, and then I followed that on by saying if we like it or not, there's going to be a lot of people who like the term disabled. Some people like the term differently abled, special ability. I know in Dubai they're called people of determination. So there's all these different terms that we're not going to get to one term. And because of that, I feel it's one of those things where we have to respect what people want to be called, what label they want to put on themselves,
Mm.
because I just don't think there will ever be a time where everyone's happy with
Yeah.
the one term.
Yeah. But look at it. I mean, the bifurcation I talked about, normal. I don't know what normal is basically.
Yes, no,
Usain Bolt can run 100 meters in 9 seconds.
yeah,
I can't do it. I
yes,
can probably do it in 100, 10 times the time he takes. So in his definition, I'm probably with less ability, less physical
yeah,
ability. Right? For
mm,
him, I'll be a moron. I'll be like, so it is subjective and relative. It's what you do with what you got, isn't it? I mean, I'm
yes,
talking about people who feel like they fall in the normal range, but look at what we do with what we got. both in
Yeah.
physical and mental abilities. So
Yeah.
ability, I think, is directly proportional to what you achieve with it, what you do with it, what you've got, and you make the most
It's
of it, isn't it?
yeah. It's a unique thing.
Yeah,
Um,
subjective. Yeah,
because yeah, and like you say, what is normal, you know? Because I consider I live a normal life
yeah,
too, but my normal life is using a wheelchair to get from places.
exactly.
No, a normal life for Usain Bolt is running around the track in 9 seconds. So you know, that's it.
Exactly. I mean, people with diabetes or high cholesterol, they can't
Hmm,
take stairs, or they can't walk 100 yards,
yeah,
and is that's normal for them? You normalize it. You do
yeah,
you
that's it.
you get on with what you have and make the most of it,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Of course, people think it's easier or harder, but that's again down to the mental toughness or mental attitude that you have. It's easier and
Yes.
harder for everyone. You to talk to people. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Physical ability
Exactly.
is it's misleading. I'm really happy that you were on board with that, because I was a little hesitant to discuss this.
Yeah, and I think the other problem we have is the as you were saying about comparing ourselves with others. Um, I I admit when I wanted to become like big on YouTube, I compared myself to other people, to successful people, and whenever I didn't reach there, it would really disappoint me, and then I'd lose motivation.
Yeah.
Where and then ended up watching a video many years later, and it basically said, you know, everyone puts their own talent into the world, which no one can really replicate. So, you know, if one person sees your stuff, that's you should see it the other way around. Like that's one person out of billions of people who've seen your work. It's the billions of people who've missed out, uh, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And once I stopped comparing myself and not really looking at other successful people, is when I saw success in myself.
That's a deep
Because I,
hashtag deep.
yeah, yeah, because you know my focus was on making content and sharing stories rather than I'm doing this to get views. You know,
Mm, mm.
the views came once I stopped thinking about it.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? That's how it works.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, it works. It works everywhere. You run after money, and money runs away. And when you start doing some good shit and not thinking
Yeah,
about money, and it's money everywhere.
yeah,
That's what
exactly. Yeah.
people said when I used to hear this billionaires, millionaires saying this, that stop running after money. It's a paradox. I was like, how do you get it then? So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a paradox, difficult to understand, but it's
Mm,
really interesting. I
mm,
read your LinkedIn about section, and where you say that for a lot of years you didn't want to be a leader or an inspirational or motivational coach, or a person who inspires. Then you accepted it, right?
mm.
So the way you write it, that you accepted it, and you also write that I just want to live my life. i'm
Yes.
I'm just being me and do the best with whatever I have got. I have my own aspirations, my dreams, my things I want to do and achieve. So
Yeah.
do you think there is a burden of expectations on uh, amazing people, inspirational people like you, to inspire others?
Yeah, there is, and it's this is kind of where I had a bit of my downfall. Um, so about 2050, well, for 23 years of my life, um, I was known as Isaac who's done the skydive and Isaac who's done the skiing and all of those things. Um, and it was really great opportunities and things, but and also when growing up, um, overcoming things with my disability was easy because I had supportive people around me who would always say, "Oh, you can do this, you can do that." So I kind of just kept on wanting to keep on achieving. But the one thing that I struggled with was my mindset.
Mm.
Um, and the problem was when people saw me, I kind of had to put this. face on to be, oh, I'm still happy, I'm inspiring. And in my head, I thought, oh, people don't want to hear me talking about me feeling down today. I just always got to be happy. I always got to put a smile on. Um, and then it just got to a bit of a breaking point where I wanted to learn about the mind and um, how our feelings work. And it was one of those things where it was a vicious cycle where I would do these things to make others happy. Basically, I wasn't making myself happy. I was making others happy and inspirational. But yeah, it's a vicious cycle when you're putting up this front, you're not actually happy, and you're not honest with yourself. You're not honest with the people, and that's not a real reality of life. So once I started being honest, that's when people were like, "Oh, actually, I can relate to this." And as soon as I was honest, I was feeling happy with myself. That I was honest with people, and people, surprise, wanted to listen to what I had to say. And now it's kind of like it's a bit of a fine line where if I actively do something to be inspiring, I'm happy with that. But me going to the shops, people get inspired by that as well.
Yeah.
And I've had a conversation about this, and it's just people, if I like it or not, will always see me as inspiring, just going out the house, which I can't understand. But if I'm actively skydiving or skiing or something, that's when I see it as inspirational as such. So hopefully that answers it. I was all over the place there, but yeah.
No, you have.
Sorry.
We started with that burden, so then you accepted to be with you. Stop inspiring specifically, and just accept your vulnerabilities. Accept that at the end of the day, you are a human being. You can't be camera ready all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a big shift, isn't it? A big paradigm shift. Because I always think, since I've started following you, I always felt that this is such a big burden of expectation we have put upon Isaac, that see, you can't be wrong. You know, you are our role model. You are the idol. You are the God figure, and you can't go wrong. You can't show any chinks in your armor or any weaknesses. You can't cry. You can't struggle with your stuff because you have it all sorted. That's what we like to believe, you know. But it's good that you've accepted it and you figured it out. It's the right attitude. I absolutely agree with you on that.
And it's funny, like, you know, it's funny you said about people may think I got it all right, but I still have a disability. So, you know, it's not easy as it is, really. And as much as I've accepted going viral last week and gaining those 20,000 followers, luckily I did go viral twice before this, so it kind of mentally prepared me for it. And you know, I'm just going to continue. It hasn't really overwhelmed me. All the connection requests have been a lot, but you know, I'm not accepting everyone. I know I can't comment on every comment and respond to everyone. It's just not humanly possible. So, you know, I'm just still doing me and having a smile on my face.
That's all it is. I think you're going to have to outsource some of your work now. You're going to have to hire a B team.
I do need a team. Yes, I definitely need a team.
That's because people are going to expecting you to answer to everyone, because now you're doing it and soon you won't be able to because there'll be too many. So some disappointments. And it's amazing with social media, isn't it? That we can, I'm sitting here in Delhi, you are in London, the time frame is different, and we just go connected. And I talked to some people before the podcast. I told them about, and they knew you, surprisingly, but people in India. So fantastic talking to you, Isaac. I wanted to keep it really crisp and short.
Okay.
Respecting your time, and I got what I wanted. And I got your perspective on disability and physical ability and the mindset of, because there are a lot of, for example, I'm an author, and I always wonder if suddenly tomorrow I become a best-selling author followed by 1 million people, how would I react, or how would I take that life? And because it's definitely going to impact my writing, it's definitely going to be a distraction. But there are great authors, J.K. Rowling, who
Yeah.
manage it so wonderfully. So I think you got to be that person who can handle 1 million followers. Then you
Yes.
get it. So you get there, like Tony Robbins said, you first become that person, and then things start to happen. Not you don't wait for things to happen to change. So I
Yeah,
think, Isaac,
exactly. Yeah.
you are absolutely ready for 1 million followers and 100 million followers. You can handle it. The logistics will be sorted. We'll help you. We'll help you
Yeah.
from there.
It's what. Yes. It's one of those things where viral, but you have to um see your, for example, 10 followers as 1 million followers already,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then just carry on as you still got the 10 followers, really, because
Mhm.
the one problem is, as you said, with especially like being an author or someone who writes things online, is when you have 1 million people following you, have 1 million different opinions, and they try and tell you, oh, you should be writing things like this, or I didn't like how you said that, and it's like, well, no, this is me, and you got to stick to it. You shouldn't be influenced by what other people have to say. If you stay true to yourself, that's something that is something which you feel a lot more from than having to listen to everyone. And as we said earlier, you can't please everybody as well.
Hmm.
You know, obviously, don't be closed-minded and say I'm not listening to you, but you got to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, as I said, with that mental clarity that you talked about, that is what is propelling you further, because uh, you know what you are, you know what you think, you have a philosophy pretty clearly tapped out in your head.
Mm,
So the reason people follow anyone is
mm,
to listen to that integrated philosophy or idea of life, not someone who changes every other day or being influenced
yeah,
by things. That's why people follow people. So,
exactly.
and so you're absolutely right. You got to stick, and you can only stick if you are clear about it. You can't act it
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah.
You are
And you
what
got to
you
be
are.
honest with yourself. You got to be
Exactly.
honest with yourself.
Exactly. So until you're
Mm,
honest and clear about it, you're gonna be swinging here and there and everywhere, and influenced by all the opinions. And yes, the opinions online can be really varied. People get offended very quickly, and they show their
yes.
disrespect as quickly as the respect. So if you're sure, if you're situated in your honesty, which you are,
Mm.
um, so that's why I said you are ready for the 1 million followers, and I'm pretty
I
sure.
think I am. Nah, I'm joking.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
just a few months, and we'll hopefully catch up again once you have 1 million followers. So that's a date. That's
All right.
that's let's make it a date. And once you hit 1 million followers, we'll get back again. And next
We
time
celebrate.
you'll be a celebrity, but I can always say I knew you when you had 10,000.
Oh, no, I'm saying we'll celebrate. We'll celebrate together.
Yes, I'll probably because I'm planning to visit London next couple of months. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so hopefully by then it's all done and dusted. That's
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
No,
Little
that'll be
intention
cool.
to the universe. We started with the intention that you're gonna be
Mm,
visiting Liverpool, and let's wrap up with the intention of 1 million followers. It's good for them. It's not, and it's not going to be an achievement for you, but I think it's
mm.
good for the people, that more people can levitate and come and know
Yeah.
your story. It is definitely
Because
worth.
because one thing I've come to terms with is, if I can inspire one person or get one person to feel that they can be the best versions of themselves, then I've achieved it.
Hmm.
One person is important to me, and that one person can then, use that inspiration or motivation to help someone else. So it's kind of like a snowball. So yeah, one person for me.
That's pretty neat. One at a time.
Hmm.
It makes it seem easier, but Isaac, there still are going to be 1 million people looking up at you. So you can't hide in your corner, right? Fantastic. It's
Yeah,
amazing talking to you. I have learned
likewise.
a lot of nuggets from you because I really wanted to understand your take on this burden of expectation and
Mm,
the idea of relativity of physical ability.
mm,
It's and as I said, it was a little difficult question to ask, and a lot of people
yeah.
get offended. But you talked about it beautifully, and I'm sure people who are listening of different backgrounds because I'm in India, so a lot of people probably would listen from India.
Mm,
Please, I want to look at Isaac as someone who's doing things he wanted to do and he wants to do, despite the setbacks or the disabilities.
mm,
So I don't think uh, it is. Of course, it is extraordinary and it is brilliant and genius that you're doing. But your message is that anyone can do this. Anyone
yes.
should be able to do this. So you have to get over your disabilities or setbacks or whatever moanings and complaints you have and just get on with it because you can do it.
Yeah, it's all about the mind, really.
Yep.
As I mentioned earlier, it's well, what I learned from learning about the mind was about how our thoughts, feelings, and how we speak into the universe is what we attract.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, once we change our mindset to be focused and positive on the task at hand, that's when you really see the change.
Exactly. Fantastic, mate. So the date is
Yes.
set, and you're going to Liverpool soon, and I'm coming to London, hopefully, all up there in the intention
Yes.
cloud. Okay, you have a good rest of the
Hopefully,
day.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, hopefully I'm in London. Hopefully I won't be in Liverpool when you come to London.
No, that'll be even better. That'll be even better.
Yeah.
I can show you the places. There's some
Okay, yeah, that would be cool.
really neat underground hidden jazz bars in Liverpool that nobody knows
Nice.
about.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thanks for your
Good.
time.
Thanks a lot for your time, Isaac. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.